South Coast Rail held a public meeting in Easton on January 31st to discuss the numerous proposed routes of an MBTA commuter rail line that will link Boston and New Bedford. There are currently more than 60 alternatives for the route, which were proposed by the public in previous meetings. Several towns in southeastern Massachusetts, including Easton, will be affected in varying ways depending on which route is selected. The meeting gave residents of Easton and the surrounding communities a chance to be heard and ask questions about how the route selection process will be carried out.
Oh, hello. Nice to see you.
Upon arriving at the meeting, participants are greeted by Christina Egan, South Coast Rail Manager for the Executive Office of Transportation, who then gave a presentation along with Janice Martin, an EOT consultant. Each of the proposed routes were described, as were the modes of transportation that would be used. Options ranging from diesel to electric-powered locomotives are being considered. Egan said that all of the routes have complex problems that need to be resolved, such as issues with wetland preservation, safety concerns, and what to do with properties that will abut the route. All will have to be weighed against one another during the evaluation period. She also described the 37 different evaluation criteria, chosen in part by the public, that will be applied to each alternative during the evaluation. A maximum of 6 routes will be chosen to go forward onto an environmental review, though a route will not be chosen before 2010. After the 40-minute presentation, local politicians were first to comment. New Bedford Mayor Scott Lang addressed those in attendance.
I love seeing all the attendance. I think it's great, and the idea that we are putting more and more thought into this. I can tell you that if I went up to Attleboro and spoke before that city council, I tell you that I don't favor the Attleboro line, and if I came here to Easton and spoke to the Eastern selectmen, I would tell you that I am against the Stoughton line.
Lang went on to describe what he feels is the ideal alternative.
But I think it can be done on the existing rail lines, and I'll just tell you very quickly how, and I think it can be done in a way that's very, very cost effective. I think you can run up through Middleborough, going New Bedford, Fall River, Cotley Junction, over to Middleborough. Do not have us back up to get to Lakeville, which was the 1988 to 91 study. I think what it comes down to is you extend that rail down to Wareham and Buzzards Bay. I think that you send trains from Fall River and New Bedford and Taunton up through that line, and they hopscotch their way up. They leapfrog their way up. I think you spend the money improving that line, so the senator is exactly right, the representative is exactly right. You upgrade from Braintree up to Boston. Everybody flies. You're using existing rail at that point. And the price of the project, I believe, is very close to what it would be to connect New Bedford, Fall River, Taunton up through Hockomock. So that's what I'm in favor of. The key thing is I'm in favor of having it built.
The final portion of the meeting was reserved for public comment, and residents from Easton and surrounding communities all got their chance to speak, including Darshan Murphy, who lives on Purchase Street in Easton. Rebecca DeBardinas, a mother of 2 who lives on Rogers Drive in Stoughton, was one of several homeowners at the meeting who could have a train running very close to their homes depending on which route is chosen. After the meeting had adjourned, she had a chance to speak with another participant about her situation.
The house is 30 feet from where they're supposed to have double tracks. Right. So
good luck.
Yeah, right. So you'd be looking at, they would put something like this wall.
Nice.
Yeah, they'd put something like this wall in my backyard, so my children would have the backyard to look at, and they'd have this great big sound wall, which would be all protecting them between them and the train. My concerns.
Look on the bright side, they could use it as a tennis backboard.
Graffiti, right? Yeah. My concerns are derailments, granted the trains would be going slow because we're between Stoughton Center and the Plain Street Crossing. It's always that wall would be protecting my children in their backyard, my home, from a derailment. Also cost value, would they purchase my house? How many houses along the corridor would they have? How many millions of dollars to spend, taking property? Private owners.
Good luck.
The third round of public meetings will begin this March and will be held in Attleboro, Lakeville, and Freetown. Check out www.southcoastrail.com for more information. This has been Mike Cohey reporting for the Easton Journal.